Hey guys, Luke on the road here. I'm going to show you how to restring your broken RV blinds. First thing you're going to want to do is buy yourself 15 yards of blind or shade replacement string. This is 1.4 millimeter, which is standard for RVs. And then you're going to want to cut it into two equal lengths of about 7.5 yards. You're going to need both of those strings in order to complete this project. First, you're going to pop off the end caps. There's the top. For the bottom one, I had these plastic knobs that you tie the ends of the string to. You're going to want to untie that first. Then you can pop off the end cap of the bottom rail. And then you can pop off the end caps of the center rail too that has the bottom shade attached to it. Remove the bottom rail from the bottom shade. And then for the top shade, mine was pretty tough to get out, and you'll see why in just a little bit. So I had to use some pliers, and it took quite a bit of elbow grease to get it off there. As you can see, come on, buddy. There you go. And as you can see here, they have two springs there, and you only need one, and then they have a bunch of excess string as well. So that was what was getting it caught, and they have some tape in there too. So now you can remove the shades. That's the bottom shade from the center rail there. And then you can pull out the strings through the top. And don't worry about how the strings go in. I'm going to show you a diagram of that later. So you want to put one end of one of the strings through one loop on the end of the spring. And then you're going to restring the shade. Now, in order to do that, I just put a little tape on the end of it because they can fray pretty easily if you try to do it with just the string. You could tape something else to the end of it, something more firm and thin to help you do this faster, but I just used some tape because that's what I had handy. Anyway, this is the diagram that you're going to use in order to restring it. It's pretty straightforward. I've even color-coded it so that you can see where the two different strings go. It's pretty self-explanatory from here on out. Once you restring it, you just put it back together as you took it apart. But if you need a little more direction, you can watch the rest of the video and I'll kind of go through the whole thing. So I'm just restringing starting the first string from the spring through the first hole to the right of the spring, more towards the center, and then I'm taking that one down to the hole all the way to the left of the bottom of the shade, and then that's going to come through the end and then go out to the side. Now this is going down through the hole to the farthest right of the spring. A little tedious without anything longer to thread it with, but once you get it through here, you're going to go to the opposite side into the hole that's more towards the center of the bottom shade, and then you're going to pull the string all the way to the opposite side there. You're going to want to do both. You want to do that for both sides, and this is kind of what it's going to look like. You've got those two lines crossing each other there. And now all you got to do is put it back together the way you took it apart. Now you can see you're going to want to make sure that those strings stay above the shade when you put the shade back into the middle rail there. And then just slide them in just as you pulled them out, making sure those strings stay up top. Pull them out as you go along. Put the end cap back on the center rail. Now this is the bottom rail here, once again making sure those strings stay up above the rail, stay in the same, and in the middle of the rail as well. There you go. Now you can pull the string through the holes on the bottom end caps and then pop the bottom rail end caps back in. Now I'm tying these plastic knobs onto the bottom rail and I'm compacting the shade before I put the top rail on, because if it catches the spring, I don't want it to pull the strings through the shade and not be able to access them and have to pull it apart again. So I'm doing this to both sides before I attach the top rail. So now I'm just sliding the top rail on, I'm getting it closer to the spring. Goes over the spring fairly easy now that there's only one, and the whole rail went on fairly easy as well. And then just pop the top end caps back on and you're basically done. And the next step would just be to reattach the shade to the window. Well, that's about it, guys. As far as detaching and reattaching the shades to and from the RV, it varies slightly depending upon the manufacturer, but as far as restringing a shade of this size, it's pretty much the same across the board. So I hope this video helped. Good luck with the project, and have fun out there. Thanks for watching.